What I want to talk about today again, and we think about that where sin abounds, grace abounds much more. And there's many times in life we feel like people deserve, or maybe even we deserve more. We feel condemnation, we feel guilt, and so we beat ourselves up. Or there's someone that we hold in bondage in our heart that we're refusing to forgive, and so that way we're not able to move forward. And I think about a particular story where the grace that someone received, I feel like that story didn't match the type of grace that person deserved at the moment. Everyone over here in this section is probably nervous because they know that I'm about to tell a personal story about my life, right? So this story happened about 25 years ago, so now my wife knows that she's in the clear, right? So, all right, so let me preface by saying this. I wasn't always the most trustworthy kid, okay? I just want to be honest, okay? So before I say that, all right? I wasn't always the most trustworthy kid. But I remember one time there was a circumstance we were living in, and I came downstairs and I was just going outside to play like every little good kid goes outside to play, right? And I was confronted by a woman who had anger in her eyes. Scared me to my soul. I won't say any names, Dr. Lee. Amen. See, one of the things about those, about my mom and all of her sisters, see, they don't know this is my personal space. Like when it comes down to their kids, they don't really understand like personal space. Like there's no boundaries. Like you've just crossed over into my personal space, right? And so I'm coming downstairs, once I play like every little good kid does. And she looks at me and she says, "Did you run up those $600 on the phone bill?" Some of y'all have heard this story before. It's okay. Yes, your turn is coming. Did you run up that $600 on the phone bill? Absolutely not. I don't even get on the phone. All I do is go outside and I play like a good kid, because I'm a good kid. Sometimes not trustworthy, but I was a good kid. Right? And so then my sister comes downstairs, so she calls my sister downstairs and she invades her personal privacy too, and space too as well. So that lets me know that I wasn't special, that she invaded all of her kids, me, Dwayne, and Nikki. She invaded all of our personal space. So then she asked Nikki, "Nikki, did you run up these $600 worth of charges on the phone?" I knew the answer to that question because I knew it wasn't me. And Nikki looks at her and says, "No, ma'am, it wasn't me." I said, "Oh, Lord, help us today, Lord. Help us today." She didn't want to let me be great. I don't want to just go outside and play. She wouldn't let me be great that day, right? So we go back and forth, and my mom, she sends back and says, like, "Well, I know one of y'all did it because your dad didn't do it, I didn't do it. Someone in this house made the call." She had already done her due diligence and had made all the phone calls, so she already knew all the facts, all the total amount, the amount of time. So I'm looking at my sister saying, "You need to do the right thing, because I need to go outside and play." And this girl was refusing to admit her guilt, right? So we go through all that, and I get it. I had a track record, so my parents had to kind of make sure that it wasn't me, but I was kind of like, look, it wasn't me. So finally, after, being pretty much wasting my whole day upstairs, my sister finally said, "You know what? I was the one who did it." I was excited because I was like, okay, cool, I'm finally get to go outside. But the thing is, I didn't want to go outside because I wanted to see what the punishment was going to be. That's what I wanted to see. What was the punishment going to be? So even though I was ready to go outside, I was like, yeah, this one's going to be good. $600 you ran up on the phone bill. This one's going to be really good. I remember when I got in trouble just for staying outside with the lights on outside. And I almost said I was disappointed with the level of the punishment that she got. And as it plagued me for these last over 20-something years, I've been looking at that. I mean, I finally got to go outside, but I'm just saying, you don't mean an apology. But many times in life, we look at situations. I know I said that to be joking, but that is a very true story. We look at situations. The thing is that the same grace that we want for ourselves is not the same grace that we're willing to extend to somebody else. Lord, please don't give me. It should have been worse for me, Lord. But if there's someone else, that has something that has done something against you, we want to make sure that all hell and fire and brimstone comes down on their head. You can't rebuke a hater and be a hater at the same time. And so many times the grace that we all don't deserve, grace is the unmerited, undeserved favor of God that we all get. We all need it. Ephesians chapter 2 says that as for you, you were dead in your transgressions and sins. Verse 2 says, in which you used to live when you followed the ways of the world and of the ruler of the kingdom of the air. The spirit who is now at work in those who are disobedient. Talk about don't waste grace. Verse 3 says, all of us who have lived among them at one time, gratifying the cravings of our flesh. We've all been there. That's not how many times people think that just because you're saved, that you've always been saved. And I want to say that that is absolutely not true. And following his desires and thoughts like the rest. But we were by nature deserving of wrath. Verse 4 says, but because of his great love for us, God, who is rich in mercy, verse 5 says, made us alive with Christ even when we were dead in transgressions. It is by grace you have been saved. Nothing that you did. It's been by grace that you've been saved. See, the thing is, you can never be so good to be deserving of the grace. He said, even when you were out there messing up, wilding out, doing all this crazy things, even then in that moment, he saved us. Verse 6 says, and God raised us up with Christ and seated us with them in heavenly realms in Christ Jesus. Verse 7 says, in order that in the coming ages he might show the incomparable riches of his grace. Everything that we went through, everything that we've gone through. In order that in the coming ages he might show the incomparable riches of his grace. Lord, you didn't save me just to save me. Lord, you saved me and set me apart to do something with my life. Lord, there's no point in just being a Christian and not having no power, Lord. There's no point in being a believer and not having favor on my life, Lord. Lord, everything that you have saying, I brought you out of darkness, I put you into light so that way people can see my glory, and that way I put you in position. You say, it's not me, it's by the grace of God so that he can get the glory. It's that he brought us out so that he might show us the incomparable riches of his grace expressed in his kindness to us in Christ Jesus. I didn't even give y'all the title of my message. I'm sorry, guys. Please forgive me. But we want to talk about grace unfolding. Grace unfolding. Because grace is unfolding in each of our lives in some type of way. Amen. We are at each experiencing to the extent of our capacity to receive it or our faith to walk in it. It says we are each experiencing the grace unfolding in our life to the extent of our capacity to receive it or our faith to walk in the grace that he's given us.